Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to Rob Motive JT. Out here cruising around in the Jeep Gladiator. This is the Mojave trim level, which I think is awesome, by the way. I love all the trim levels of the Gladiator. They're just done well as far as appearance and styling. I know, right, for a Jeep. But why the heck do people buy these things anyway? And I got to thinking about that myself. You know, it certainly is not for the gas mileage. I mean, I'm getting like 14, 15 mile per gallon. I'm not out here hyper-miling by any means. And it certainly isn't for reliability. I mean, Jeep has I think, deserved bad reputation for reliability. You know, this is my third Jeep Gladiator. My first Jeep Gladiator I had problems with. That stupid auto stop thing, not going to go into that. I've beaten that to death. But I got another one after that. Same year, same model, same pretty much everything except for color. And I really did that just to dump the one that I was having problems with. An opportunity arose, and hey, why not? So now I'm on my third, as I mentioned. It is the Mojave. The previous two were sports. And the question is why? Why did I go to the Mojave? Well, the Mojave's my favorite trim level. And again, I had another opportunity. I've gotten lucky twice on the Gladiator as far as availability, but I had another opportunity, so I picked up another one, and it happens to be this one. And there are a few reasons why. Number one, I really do like the Jeep Gladiator. I think it's an awesome vehicle. I love the power of it, which is one of the big reasons. You know, it's got good power, it's got good pickup, which is one of those things for me. I really dig that in any vehicle, and I really like it in the Gladiator. I think Jeep did a great job with it. I don't really have any lag, at least none that I can really pick up on, and it goes when I want it to go. The modability of the truck. I mean, it's a Jeep, right? You know, there's all kinds of things out there you can do with it, and I've done a lot with it already. I mean, if you watch the channel, then you know there are a ton of things I've done. You can personalize it. You can make it your own, which is something I'm always looking to do in vehicles. You know, I started doing that about 220 years ago, you know, something like that. I've been around for a while. And I haven't stopped. Matter of fact, I've made that my career. It's what I do. I've got the 3 channels on YouTube, and I love what I do. So there's the modability part of it. Next up is the versatility part of it. You know, I've got a 2-wheel drive Tacoma. This, of course, is a 4-wheel drive. I don't think Jeep puts out a 2-wheel drive Gladiator, at least not yet. You know, there was a time back in the day when they were putting out, and maybe they still do, I think they still do, 2-wheel drive Wranglers. So I've got to think that the 2-wheel drive Gladiator is probably coming. It'll probably be one of those kind of refresh kind of things, which isn't really much of a refresh, but I'm sure Jeep's going to do it. But I have the versatility of that, the 4-wheel drive, which, if I'm being honest, I don't really need. I mean, I live in deep South Texas. It's sunny and warm here most of the time. We get a little bit of a winter, but winter here is like what it is today, 68 degrees with low humidity. That's pretty much winter, although it is supposed to be in the 40s, I think, coming up soon. So I don't really have any need for that. I love the top off feature or the different features that you can utilize. Now, I don't take the top off often, hardly if ever, frankly, because it's cumbersome to deal with, and then you have to store that back part somewhere. It's big, it's bulky, really not something that you should be doing yourself, only for fear of damaging it. But I do have the Sunrider soft top replacing the Freedom panels, so I can just whip that thing back and go pretty much wide open across the driver's area whenever I want. That's a pretty handy feature to have. The Freedom panels, not so much. I would highly recommend going with the Sunrider, only because it makes it easier. You're always carrying your top with you right up there. You can just flick it shut if you encounter rain, or maybe you want to lock it up and when you're going in somewhere for security purposes. Now, I mentioned the modding, not only wheels and tires and things, but there's all kinds of other stuff you can do, even if you want to get under the hood. I like that. That brings me to sound. I can make it grumble. I like grumble. Now, it is just a 6-cylinder. I'm not talking about exhaust. I'm talking about the cold air intake. You know, Air Raid has a cold air intake for this that just sounds awesome. It makes it sound like it's more than what it is. And you can hear it from the outside. You certainly can hear it from the inside. I love that. The other thing, I suppose, and probably the biggest thing for me with the Gladiator, is its uniqueness. Now, it's not so much anymore because they're becoming more and more popular. There are more and more on the road. But when I got the first one that I had, and really even the second and third, even this one, it was a pretty unique vehicle. You know, there weren't tons on the road. There aren't tons now. I say the numbers are growing, but as compared to something like a Toyota Tacoma or a Ford Ranger or something like that, the big ones, it's minuscule. There are hardly any on the road if you compare them to those numbers, but nonetheless, it's growing. I see them every time I'm out. Today, we've passed one already. It was that blue, which I really like, that blue color. But I am seeing more of them on the road, but not enough that it's an everyday tons and tons kind of thing. Lastly, I want to mention, and this is the strangest thing about the Jeep Gladiator for me, and that is how Jeep holds its value. It still baffles me that they do. They've got the bad reputation for reliability. As far as the Wrangler goes, there's tons and tons of them out there, but they still hold their value really well. And I don't know if that's because of the perception of the Jeep, that people value it because they think, rightfully so, that it's very capable, that you can go anywhere in them. You have the convertible aspect. They do look cool. They're unique. I mean, you add all those things together, and I guess maybe that's why the Jeep Gladiator holds its value. You know, I could drop this thing any day and make a good amount of money back. More money than I have, say, on a lot of the full-size trucks that I've had. You know, I've had some F-150s. Those things drop like rocks. It's amazing. And it's the only thing I can think about that is because there are so many of them. You know, it's not hard to find a used Ford F-150 these days. And even when we were in the great car shortage, they're always out there. Anyway, I just wanted to get on here, kind of talk about that a little bit. You know, why the heck do I keep buying the Jeep Gladiator given the seemingly negative things there are about it? Some real, some not real. And that's why. Leave a comment. Let me know if you've had multiple Gladiators, or maybe you just got your first. Why did you buy it? What was it about the Gladiator that made you pull the trigger and drop that dime? I'd be curious to know. Also, real quick, I do have 2 additional channels. Rob Motive, all about the Toyota Tacoma, and Mod Driven, all about my latest edition, which is a 2020 Honda Civic Sport Coupe 6-speed manual transmission. It's an awesome car. Check them out, and if you're interested, why not subscribe? And while you're at it, smash the subscribe button here too. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there. Bye.